that is 2017 part 2 question number 1. 10. Assume that the dice thrown was 10 times and 10 values obtained to store at an array named A. The following algorithm with missing terms PQRS is used to calculate how many times number 5 was obtained. Right. So write the correct labels for PQR in the above algorithm. Okay, so let's look at what we have to do here. So you know that we have to count how many times the number 5 is there. So which means we have to go through iteratively. And when you say iteratively, you start with 0. So here we know the count is 0. So we will start with counting 0. So that means we are here. Now we have to check. We will get another I is 0. So that is for the iteration, because we have to repeat this from 0 up to 9, isn't it? So we have to go by, and each time we are going to increase I by 1. So that's understood. Now within the loop, what we have to do, we have to check what is the value. If it is 5, then we know that we have to increase the count because we start with 0. Yes. So if I go by this, let's forget about this for the time being. You start with 0. Then how do you check the first one? So how do you check this value? How do you represent this value? If you remember, so you represent it as A0, right? The next number as A1, then A2. And if you take this, for example, it's A3. So this is how we will represent numbers inside the array. The last one is A9. If you go by the same, right? So start with 0. It goes like this. So in that particular case, we have to check whether this is equal to 5. Now remember, every time it will changes, right? So what we have used for the index is I, isn't it? So in that particular case, we know that the Q should be I. So this should be I. Because first time it will be A0. We are checking whether it's equal to 5. No, then you don't go inside. I plus 1, this is 2. So 1. So then it will say I1 whether it's 5. No, it will skip. Yes. Go to next one. Then it will go to 2. Then A2, is it 5? Okay, yes. Then you have to increase the counter. You know that this R, so it should be count. So this should be count. I hope from the beginning we discussed this idea. So increase the counter by 1. So which means you always work on the right hand side. Get the current counter, let's say 0 plus 1. Then after this iteration, after this step, the count will be 1. So likewise, it's go like this. Now we have to stop. Now let's see where we need to stop. So it should come up to here. So this will be like, for example, I could be 9. And then you check whether the 9 is less than something. And you have to go. Then it will become 10. When it's 10, yes, you have to come out from this. Yes. Okay. So for example, what we need to put it here, right? Either 9 or 10. So that's the question you might have. So since the 9 also should go here, because when it is 9, it should pass. So if you put 9, it won't happen, right? It's not less than. So which means you have to put 10 here. So just look at it, put in numbers. If you put 9, 9 less than 9, no, then you come out, because in a while loop, if this is true only, you go inside. So which means there's no equal sign here. So that means you have to put 10. So the 10 should be go inside. So the answers, P is 10, then Q is I, and R is count.